with me today is Candice Rosen, the author of The Pancreatic Oath. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, Brandy. Thank you for asking.
Well, thanks for joining us today. Your book just came out a couple of weeks ago, and we've already heard a lot of great things, and our review team really likes what they saw in the book, and you've really laid out a healthful fitness and eating plan for people who just kind of want to live a healthier life.
Yeah, that's what I had hoped to do. And I want to say right off the bat that I'm so honored to be asked to be on Diets and Review. I thank you so much for contacting me. It's an honor. The Pancreatic Oath is not a diet book. It is a book about self-health. And the thinking behind that is that you are your primary caregiver. You've got to take care of yourself. Your physician is your secondary caregiver. You work in conjunction with your physician, but you have a responsibility for your health and well-being. And a lot of people talk to me, well, I want to lose weight, I want to get, I want to lose 20 pounds or 30 pounds, and it's never about the weight. It's what the weight represents, which in most cases is poor health or a deteriorating health condition. So
why the pancreas? You say that the pancreas is kind of key to weight loss and health. So why is that the organ that we need to be concentrating on making healthier?
Well, I found through, helping my own daughter with her health issues and then mine and then my clients that the pancreas is a little known or thought about gland that is right behind your stomach, below your sternum, and it produces insulin in order to keep your blood glucose down. And the pancreas is overlooked, and my hypothesis is that most Western illnesses, whether it's polycystic ovarian syndrome, metabolic syndrome, insulin resistance, heart disease, obesity, full-blown diabetes, and I'm talking about type 2 diabetes, not type 1 diabetes, renal problems, whatever, stem from pancreatic abuse, where your blood sugar is kept at a continual level above 100. And what happens is it's not just the blood glucose being elevated, but it's also the fact that your insulin levels are elevated, which is very inflammatory, and you're creating this environment of hyperinsulinemia in your body. And it's coursing through your veins, and it creates havoc throughout your circulatory system.
So what you prescribe in Pancreatic Oath is an eating plan and even fitness plan for people to bring those glucose and insulin levels back into a normal level. And once you do that, then what does your body start experiencing?
Your body starts to heal itself and you lose weight. So by keeping the pancreas in idle mode so that it doesn't have to pump like this and to produce insulin to bring down your blood glucose, and you keep all this in idle mode, then the beauty of it is that you start to lose weight. And I sort of describe losing weight as going into the storage tanks, okay? Too many of us walking around, the obesity epidemic is that you're eating more than your body can use. So what happens is when you eat more than what your body can use, it goes into the storage tanks, your thighs, your butt, your upper arms, your middle. And so when you start to protect your pancreas by eating pancreatic-friendly foods, your body will start dipping into the storage tanks, and you're cleaning out the storage tanks, and that essentially is weight loss.
Got it. So talk to me about these pancreatic foods, because I don't care what diet you're going on, what disease you have, everyone wants to know what can I eat, and even what can't I eat. So what are these friendly foods, and then what are the faux foods?
Well, you know what? One size does not fit all. Each one of us is unique, and our body processes food in its own way. So what might be good for me may not be good for you. I can eat oatmeal. I have clients that cannot eat oatmeal. So your body will tell you what it likes or doesn't like, a thumbs up or a thumbs down when you test after you eat by pricking yourself with a glucometer. That usually lasts for between 8 to 12 weeks, and pretty much then you have a roadmap of what your body can and cannot handle. I tell my clients there are certain rules, sort of the structure of the Pancreatic Nutritional Program, the PNP, and that is that you won't be mixing fruit with any other foods. It stands alone. You will be decreasing and pretty much eliminating dairy. I like my clients to focus more on a plant-based protein diet, but I never do that in the beginning because that scares a lot of people off. They're put away and they're like, oh no, I have to have my meat. And it's interesting, on their own, within 8 weeks, 6 weeks, they already have cut their consumption of animal protein by 50%, which I think is incredible. So anyway, in my book, The Pancreatic Oath, all of that is outlined.
Perfect. So eating fruit separately, that's something we hear often in conjunction with food combining diets. Right. So what is it about fruit and eating that all by itself that's so important?
You know what? Fruit, when it's coupled with other ferments in your stomach, and it raises your blood glucose, your body then has too much work to do. So it's not just, you know, keeping away from the dairy, it's not eating fruit separately alone, it's also food combining, and food combining started in the 1950s, and that's really very important. I mean, you don't want to eat a protein with a carb, let's say a rice or whatever. So you're not going to have chicken and rice and a salad, which most of us would think would be a very healthy meal. You would eat rice with a vegetable, never with a protein. I work with a lot of diabetics, type 1, juvenile diabetics, type 2 diabetics. I work with clients that have cardiac issues, renal issues, they're on the verge of renal failure, obesity, of course, young girls with polycystic ovarian syndrome, and it is amazing that by just making sure that your pancreas is protected, and your body will tell you what it likes and doesn't like. So let's say if somebody says, okay, you suggested that I have an omelet, an egg white omelet with veggies, and I threw in some sun-dried tomatoes, and their blood sugar went way over 100. Well, we would eliminate the sun-dried tomatoes to see, because it can be high in sugar, and then their blood glucose will be under 100. So that's the body saying, I like that. That works for me.
Right.
So you get this template. You know what is going to aggravate your body, raise your blood glucose to unhealthy levels, and you also find out what keeps it in the healthy range, and then it doesn't stress your pancreas. Your pancreas is in idle mode, and then you don't have that issue of hyperinsulinemia in an inflammatory situation.
Got it.
So,
got it. One of the things I like about the Pancreatic Oath is there's no calorie counting, which can be really daunting for a lot of people because it's one more thing to have to do on top of, you know, everything else. You're really just teaching people how to make sound food choices.
It's true.
How is this helpful for people when they're, especially when they're changing up and, you know, taking on a new dietary plan?
I think that's one of the biggest obstacles for me is that when clients are referred to me either by another client of mine or their physician, that they've been on so many diets and they are, I don't want a calorie count, or I don't want a carb count, whatever. And I say to them, you know what? I'm not even going to get into that. Again, your body will tell us. If you're eating large portions, you're going to see it in your blood sugar. Your body is going to give you a response shortly after you eat that meal. That's why the Pancreatic Oath is a data-driven, if you want to call it diet. I refer to it as a lifestyle. Once you find out and have an understanding of what your pancreas likes and doesn't like, I believe it is shameful not to listen to your body, not to listen to your pancreas, and feed it what it needs. You know, the human body is incredible. It's an incredible machine. Even if you think of our brains, I mean, there is no computer that will come close. If you mention a word or a person, you know, it's the name, the last name comes to mind, their face, the last time you saw them, it's like instantaneous.
Right.
The body, you know, your lungs, never forget to take breath. Your heart beats steady unless, of course, you have a cardiac issue. But the human body has the ability to heal itself if given the proper tools, i.e. wholesome, nutritious, responsibly grown food in, appropriate portions and appropriate combinations. And when you do that, your body responds, and you don't have to do much. I mean, you're not on a bike, you're not at an aerobics class, beating yourself up for 2 hours. Because so many of my clients have issues where, because they were so heavy, couldn't walk. They had knee issues. Somebody needed a hip replacement. Their age, that they are unable to exercise like most people that are younger, more physically fit. But it's interesting, the body will heal itself. It adjusts.
I think I love this idea, and I hope.
Sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
Sorry.
I hope a lot of people will take a look at the book and consider it, because as healthcare costs continue to rise, and insurance costs and premiums and deductibles and all of that, it's one of those things that if I think more and more people will come to see that a lot of this we can do on our own without drugs and a lot of medical intervention. You just need to take care of your body.
Well, I think when you mentioned that about drugs and medical intervention, what the other core component to the pancreatic oath is addressing underlying issues instead of masking. So you have got to first start out with, why is my body doing this? Why am I feeling this way? Instead of masking and putting, taking medication that never ever addresses why you're in that position in the first place. So, but I'm so proud. I'm so excited. This has been, 8 years in the process, and now that there are people out there that can download it right now. The ebook, and then order it, the hard copy on Amazon and Borders and Barnes and Noble. My hope is that it reaches the masses and will help them heal themselves by just being kind to their bodies and listening to their bodies. I tell my clients that the first thing that they need to do is to take off all their clothes, stand in front of a mirror, and look at their body. That is a body. One of the voices of the human body is that reflection.
That's a hard thing for a lot of people to do, but there's a lot of reconciliation that happens when they do.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Well, Candice, it's really nice meeting you, and it was really great hearing about the pancreatic oath. Thank you so much for taking the time today.
I'm so happy that you called me and invited me to speak about my book and my passion. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. For dietsandreview.com, this is Brandy Koski.